This is me 40 days ago, and this is me today. For the past 6 weeks, I've used 6 simple strategies to lose over 10 pounds and even build some muscle along the way. And you know what's crazy? I still ate several tasty treats along the way. In fact, this was one of the 5 strategies I used to transform my body, but more on that later. These 5 strategies were not only easy to follow, but they made my diet really pleasant as well, making it the most successful diet I've had to date. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all smooth sailings. I am exhausted. I'm having a really tough day today. I'm pretty tired. Guess what we got here? Is it something exciting? No. It's chicken breast. A little bit negative, a little bit shit. I'm tired. Which is making me worried. I'm gonna lose muscle. So I had tough days and I wasn't perfect with my diet. But I was consistent with my diet most days. And this leads me to the first strategy. Having a plan is such an important part of any transformation, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I needed an approach that would fit my lifestyle, would be manageable, and most importantly, would allow me to eat plenty of food. As you may have gathered, I love food. I also have a busy 9-to-5 job, and YouTube is kind of like my second part-time job. So I needed a plan that wasn't too time-consuming and didn't require too much mental bandwidth. So with all of this in mind, this is the plan I came up with. I'd spend the first hour of my day walking, and this extra activity would allow me to eat more food. I'd gym for 1 hour 4 days a week, which I've always done, and I'd choose foods that allowed me to eat large amounts, were easy to prepare, and that I enjoyed eating. But I'll give more specifics later in the video. And finally, I made sure to get 8 hours of sleep every single night, so that I'd feel good, and so that my body would prioritize losing fat rather than muscle. A simple plan that fit my specific lifestyle. This brings us to strategy number 2, possibly the most important factor of all, and that is sleep. Without good sleep, I know there is no way I'd be able to implement the rest of these strategies. It is crucial for mood, motivation, and overall mentality during this transformation. To ensure I got enough sleep, I set a bedtime alarm which told me it was time to wind down an hour before bed. I'd stay off screens, read, meditate, chill, whatever it took to feel relaxed and ready to sleep. Luckily, many of the strategies I used made me quite tired, so falling asleep and staying asleep was really easy. Now, I also love coffee, but historically, if I have it too late in the day, it tends to mess up my sleep. So I try to make sure to drink coffee no later than 12 p.m. Now comes the hard part, and that is waking up. I'm usually a hit the snooze button kind of dude. So to prevent this, I charged my phone in another room. This meant when my alarm went off in the morning, I had to get out of bed and walk to the other room to turn it off. And thankfully, by the time I did, I was already out of bed and up and out in the bright morning light, so I wasn't nearly as tempted to hit the snooze button. So this kind of hack worked really well. So, now that we've got those first 2 strategies sorted, strategy number 3, walking, my form of cardio for this transformation. I chose walking because it is low impact, it's easy to do, it doesn't require me driving anywhere or buying anything. I love starting my day with a walk. It gives me a chance to start my day not on screens, and I find this very helpful because it sets the tone for the day for me, helps me stay more focused throughout the day. I just walked. I would walk for an hour every morning, and by doing this I would get about 7,000 steps in that hour. Then for the rest of the day, walking to the gym, walking to the shops, walking around my apartment, all that stuff would usually trickle in another 5,000 to 7,000 steps, putting me at around 13,000 steps a day on average. Some days it was higher, some days it was lower, but on average I walked about 13,000 steps every single day. I don't know if I would have done those stairs if I didn't have you watching, keeping me accountable. So thank you. And as stated before, this meant I was able to eat a lot more food. And that was great because I love food, and I'd rather do more activity than take more food away. Now, believe me, I have tried to outwork a bad diet, but it has never worked in the past, so there is a caveat to this. You can do more activity so that you can eat more food, but it really only works to a point. And the food you choose is very important, but we'll touch on that soon. With the first 3 strategies complete, we are onto strategy number 4, and that is weightlifting. Most of us don't just want to lose weight, we specifically want to lose fat. And one of the best ways to do this is through resistance training. Pick up heavy shit and frequently remind your muscles they're needed. And by doing this, your body should pull the energy it needs from your fat stores instead of your muscle stores. So that is why I'm continuing to resistance train during my fat loss. And for me, this is kind of a strategy I'm using when I'm trying to lose fat, but also when I'm not. Strategy number 5 was diet. Quite possibly the thing I've struggled with the most in the past. I'll say this just one more time. I love food.
Sex, do it right. Sex, through the night.
So for my diet, I ate foods I enjoyed, and I ate lots of them. Now, there is a catch. I like mac and cheese a lot, but I probably only ate it 2 or 3 times. So when I say I ate lots of foods I enjoy, I mean the low-calorie variants. A typical day of eating looked like eggs, spinach, tomato, sourdough, avo for breakfast, a huge meal with lots of protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. For lunch, something like a bowl of oats with some fruit and a protein shake, then maybe some fat-free yogurt, a tiny serving of granola, more fruit, and some honey for a snack. And then for dinner, something like spaghetti bolognese. I'd vary these meals on occasion, but I don't mind eating similar things most days. Weekends, I ate a little more variety and usually a few extra 100 calories. Honestly, my calorie intake varied day to day. Some days it was as low as like 2,200 calories, some days 2,600. On refeed days and weekend days, it could be as high as 4,000. So I wasn't like one of these perfect every single day I hit my 2,450 calorie goal people. There was a range day to day, but over time, overall, I was in a calorie deficit consistently, and so I did lose weight. So what worked best for me was to push the diet harder on the days I felt up for it and I had the capacity, and to pull back a little bit on the diet on the days where I didn't have the capacity and I felt like I needed to eat more food. And being less rigid like this has worked really, really well for me. For most of us, we don't need to be absolutely perfect with our diet every day. We just need to be consistent over several days. I also did small bits of meal prepping here and there, and this was really helpful on the days that I found myself quite busy, as I had a nice meal ready and prepared, and I would just have to pop it in the microwave or maybe cook some pasta, and the meal would be ready. That was really nice. It's not imperative, but it definitely helps. And this leaves the final strategy: eating treats every day. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I kind of really love food, and so I like eating a little sweet treat every night after dinner. Again, most of us don't need to be absolutely hardcore with our diet. It's okay to include treats here and there, and I actually think this works better because it's more sustainable. The way I do this is I buy these party bags which have very small servings of a treat, of some chocolate or something inside of them, and I have 1 or 2 of those every night after dinner with a cup of tea. And this really satisfies my sweet tooth craving. It makes the diet feel a little bit less like a diet, and it gives me something to look forward to all day long, which is really helpful and motivating. If you'd like to know more about how you can include snacks in your diet daily, check out this video here where I give a lot more details on how to approach this, as the approach is kind of important to make sure you don't overdo it on those treats. And that's it. This is what a realistic 40 days of fat loss can look like. It's nothing crazy, but it's enough to make a proper difference. If you made it this far, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I'll see you soon.